Hey, it's Tamara Duncan. Let me get my thing up here. Just 1 second. Is that? Nope. I don't want that. Okay. So I just want to see if a couple people will come on. I've had something that's been coming up that I want to talk about. Um, and I think it would be beneficial for everybody. There we go. That's what I wanted. Nope, that's not what I wanted. All right. All right. There we go. Okay, so I titled this video Wartime Energetic Issues, and you might be like, what are you even talking about? Um, we are in sort of a war, right? We're in this war. This division is palpable. And the division, unfortunately, comes in the form of vaccinated versus unvaccinated, or I shouldn't have said that word, might get shadow banned, but pricked versus unpricked. And I just want to bring in this compassion for each other. There are so many people that have gotten the prick and fully regret that. And do we have room and compassion for people that have made decisions that are different from our own? Is there room for compassion and love for people who have gotten the prick for their child, whether we agree to that or not? Do we have love and compassion for people um, that have done all of that and don't regret anything? Do we have love and compassion for people that speak in a divided way, a way of division, a way of you're the enemy if you don't agree with what I say? Is there a middle path for us to communicate? It seems very far away. It's very difficult. It's the challenge of our times, though. It it is easier to be on a side. And while there are sides to choose, there are personal sovereignty and body sides to choose. Ultimately, the side is of divine love, divine compassion, the side of divine truth. Divine truth, though, we have to understand, is free of perspective. Because what one person sees as truth, another person sees as a lie. And that's what we're going on. So, what looks to one person as good, it looks bad to another person. I always thought of it like, think of all the wars of all of the thousands and thousands of years. Whoever's fighting on one side sees their side as in the right. But what about the people that are on the other side that are fighting? They see their side as right. So divine truth is not a side or a perspective. And so while to defend something, yes, maybe we need to take a side in our actions, but where in our heart can we come and find compassion for all people, regardless of their choices? Looking at people that we might call them sleepy, haven't woken up. Is there a wake up? There's an awakening. I always see it as this moving process, not something that's static. Because I hear people say, oh, when you woke up, da da da. I'm like, I'm not waking up. I've been in an awakening process, but every day I'm like, wait, what? What? Seeing something different in a different way. So this is a moving process. A lot of people need a lot of support right now, especially people that maybe have not done any of their shadow work or any of anything. But all of a sudden, they begin to see something different, and their eyes are bugging out, and their ears are throbbing, and their energy is super off because they have just been like with this information. And there's more to come. There's always more to come. We won't even have all information when we leave this earth plane, because we will still be in an awakening process. And so what I wanted to talk about was how the energy has changed. I've noticed this in my energy healing practice, that the energy healing techniques that I've been using over the last 12 years, but let's say up in for a good 10, 11 years. Um, First, the energy healing practices. Second, the energy protection practices um, are not as effective. So if you're doing Reiki or you're doing, I don't know, just bringing in vibrational healing, have you noticed that it's not as effective? It's almost like um, going to the bar and getting a watered down drink. Something that may have been able to like really like hit the button and maybe even like produce miracles, because energy healing can do that, right? Um Seems like it's like eh and fizzles away. We have definitely had some kind of an energetic shift where those traditional energy healing practices are not as impactful. And um and I believe it's because we have the earth has moved into, or the people on earth have moved into a different energetic frequency. And with so many people working on raising their frequency, um those things will not, those old ways, even if they might be new, even if you just learned it like 2 years ago and it was effective 2 years ago, those things may not be effective now. So going and taking like a Reiki, whatever, like that's all fine. Yeah, I feel comfortable in saying, but it just may not do anything. So the one thing I want to talk about, and if you're interested, put in the comments somewhere. If you're interested in this, is the idea of spiritual protection. Now, there's many methods of protecting your energy, and if you're an empath, this is something that you need to do. And thinking about it, it's like, why would I need to protect my energy if I'm a sovereign divine being full of light, right? Like, if I don't believe that those things exist, then nothing can harm me. Yes, true. And that's sort of the old thinking for it. Um, Another way of thinking of it is if I have spiritual protection, if I protect my energy, it's not that I'm in fear of anything. It's that I just don't have to deal with these things that are coming my way. That's another thing. I have had so many times, probably hundreds of times. In fact, it might be every other night or every couple nights where I'm battling something in my sleep. I sometimes can see it, I sometimes can feel it. And maybe say, oh, Tammy, you need to clear your energy. If you clear your energy, then you won't have to deal with that stuff. Wrong. Why is that wrong? It's wrong because I have lessons that I need to complete on this earth that has to do with discernment. And so I don't know if you are having the same lessons, but discernment, meaning what is of light, what is of dark, is that thing that looks like it's of darkness actually of darkness, or is it not? And here's why. We go around, and all around that we can see, people think these people are good, and so then they buy into their narrative. People think these people are bad, so they demonize them. So there's here and there's there. Yet some people think that these people that we think are bad are actually good. It's not obvious. There are wolves in sheep's clothing walking around everywhere around us, and it is amplified so much more in the last 2 years than it has been, or at least that we've noticed. So, my ability to discern and our ability to discern what is of divine truth, not perspective, is 100% essential. If I'm going to be doing energy work, I have to have that down. So what happens? I'm brought these challenges in my dream state to discern, to learn. And so it may be something that is very ugly and nasty and painful and suffering and things like that. And I've got to discern what its source is, what its intention is. And then what do I do about it? If it's something that's attacking me, if it's something that's attacking me, the old ways are not working. Okay? The old ways, so the first old way was I'm going to call Archangel Michael and he's going to come save me from this scary thing. That worked a little bit. And then it stopped working. Nobody came. Nobody came to help me. Then I called Jesus, and then Jesus would come. And then Jesus stopped coming. Okay, because this happens to me all the time, like I've tried all the things. Okay, it's not that I'm abandoned, it's just that Jesus stopped coming. Why? Because I've got to find my own power. Oh, I've got to find my own power to shift these things on my own and not call for help. Okay, so what happens? I'm in dream time, sleep time. This nasty dark being comes, tries to eat me up. Okay, Jesus isn't coming. Archangel Michael's not coming. What do? I've got to find my own power. Okay, find your light. Find your light. Dig into yourself. Find your light. Okay, I found my light. If this thing is still hovering over me, saying bad things or whatever, okay, now I'm going to grow my light. Grow my light. So I'm shifting my vibration. Ooh, that thing went away. Okay, that works. That worked for a long time right there. Finding my own power and expanding my light and changing my vibration worked all the way up until 6 months ago. Then it didn't work anymore. How did it not work anymore? Some of these beings just, and one told me, like, you can, whatever shield you put up, whatever you try to do, I walk right through that. Oh my gosh, okay. So I used, the old, I'm going to put myself in like white light. I'm going to put purple all around it, gold, all this. Oh, the beings walk right through that. That worked for a long time too. So we have to be able to do our work. We have to be able to shift into another thing is like I have a very active prayer and chanting practice every morning. I'm doing a practice of mantra chanting, prayer, all of that with my mala, or sometimes with activating my hands and doing a self healing at the same time. Well, and then one day I got this little like tickle of a thought that popped in. It's like, oh, those pathways that you're opening when you do your chanting or your prayer, other beings can come through. And so now you're going to have to clear your energy again. I'm like, why do I have to clear my energy when I'm bringing in this divine, beautiful? Well, they're pathways. They're also portals. They may be a pathway to the divine, like you see it, but it's also a pathway like a road, like Imperial Highway or the 5 freeway. Never thought of it that way. What in the world? It's exhausting. I am literally exhausted dealing with all of this chaotic energy that's out there in the world, trying to keep my shit together, trying to keep like in full balance and neutrality. And some days I'm highly successful, and other days I'm not so successful. And you can usually tell from my Facebook feed because I get triggered by certain politicians and stuff, and I might say something a little naughty. And the only reason I do that is because I see a wolf in sheep's clothing right there, and I'm like, I see you, and so I may say something about it. Um, so I think I've cracked the code for spiritual protection. Um, and I'm going to play with it a little bit more, but I've been able to hone in on 3 techniques um, Two are pretty easy. One is pretty complex that I'll be sharing probably in the next week or two. If that's something that you're interested in going into, like serious, what kind of protection spiritually can I bring in to make your field of energy where you can actually take a deep breath, a deep exhale, and relax. And you can be like, I'm good without feeling this. I'm constantly having to clear and battle this energy that's out there. We're in a field. The collective field is a highly chaotic field right now. But let's just all remember within that field is also really dark, nasty shit, but also amazing, amazing light and unconditional love. And there's so much beauty that exists in that field as well. And so, yes, we can like connect our energy into all of that, but we can't ignore these other things because they're part of what we need to address in our own lives as well. So we have to experience all of that. But how can we do our work in the world, especially if you're a light worker or starseed and called to making some kind of shift or change in the world or contributing in the world in an energetic way and helping people? If you're battling energy all the time and exhausted, you're not going to be able to do your work. It's going to be difficult. So, coming up, I'm going to have like a little workshop or something talking about these techniques and what we can do so that we can take a breath. We can just have that spiritual protection, protecting our field so that we're not we still see it and we can learn lessons from it and we can do our work within it, but we don't have to absorb and walk around with these connections of difficult energies. So let's take a couple deep breaths together. I feel that. Ari, I don't know if you can hear Ari snoring over there. Nice, deep, slow snore. So, I want to thank you guys for listening. A couple of you popped out when we did the breathing. Just a couple breaths. It's just nice to just take that breath and let everything smooth out before we go out into the world. Everybody's sleeping around me. I hope that you're doing well. And I know that I'm here to help you guys and help people with that spiritual protection piece and even new energy healing techniques that are aligned with the new age as we um, start to begin this shift out of the Kali Yuga into the age of Aquarius, which could take a while. In our viewpoint, it could take a while. Anything over 10 days takes a while. Um, but we're moving in that direction, and these new vibrations, both chaotic but also very high, where you have one, you have the other. So when you have these higher vibrations, we have even the darker ones or the lower ones that we need to learn how to work with. Like I said, some of those old energy healing techniques are just not doing the trick. And so I've got some in my back pocket that I've been using, but also need to tweak for who we are today and what we have today. All right. Thank you, everybody. I love you. Blessings to you. Have a beautiful day, and may you be healthy and strong and in peace.